What's up? Today we are going to talk about an English film. This film is called Layer Cake and it was released in 2004. It stars Daniel Craig. He's the bloke who is now James Bond-like. It also stars Michael Gambon. You may know him as Dumbledore. It's got a few other people in it who, if you watch it, you'll recognise, but let's move on for now. So the plot of the film is there's a drug dealer and his name is never revealed. That's Daniel Craig's character. In the credits it's just XXXX. That's his character name in the film. But yeah, it's kind of like a Fight Club. You never find out the name of the narrator in Fight Club. So same kind of idea there. He deals cocaine, and for him it's like a business and his commodity is cocaine, and that's how that works, and he's very like serious about his business and doesn't fuck around really, does everything properly to the book, and his motto is like have a plan, stick to it, and he plans an early retirement. Once he's got a certain amount of money from his trade, he's gonna like just stop and move on, not get in trouble. He sells his stuff to a bloke called Jimmy, and Jimmy's like the main man, he's like the big guy. I mean, he's the guy who then disperses it, I guess, through different dealers, but Daniel Craig is kind of the bloke who cuts it up into kilo portions and then sells it to him. And then he calls like a meeting one day at some fancy restauranty place, and he wants to speak to Daniel Craig. So Daniel Craig goes and he speaks to him, and basically this bloke Jimmy asks him to do him a favour, says that he's lost his daughter Charlotte and that Daniel Craig needs to find her for him. So that's the plot as far as I can tell you without really giving it away, because as you get into it you realise it's not all what it seems to be. There's kind of like this subplot that spirals around about this group of loudmouth English hooligans, I guess, who go off and they kind of basically rob a poppy or tulip company somewhere in Amsterdam or something and nick like 1 million ecstasy pills that are worth shitloads of money, and they nick all these pills and they then want to sell them to Daniel Craig for him to sell to someone. It's confusing to explain, but it makes sense when you watch it. So that's the plot. Basically it is about drugs, and Daniel Craig is the main bloke. He hates guns, but in the end he does shoot one person in the film. So I'm not going to tell you who that one person is, but you'll find out if you watch it. I would suggest, if you like films such as Lock, Stock, Smoking Barrels, Snatch, things, gangstery English films, those kind of things, worth a watch, because it's along those lines, a bit more formal maybe. It's a bit more serious, but I really enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of things like Snatch and stuff. I mean, I enjoy them, they're fun, but I wouldn't class them as in any way my favourite kinds of films. But Layer Cake is a really good film. It's directed by a guy called Matthew Vaughn, who incidentally produced Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, stuff like that. Most recently he's directed Kick-Ass, he was the bloke who did that. Also X-Men First Class, he directed that. Some other film, he's done some other stuff, but those are kind of two big ones that he's done recently. So yeah, this is one of his, I think it must have been one of his first films he actually directed, I guess, but the acting is very good in it. There's a character in it called the Duke, who's a loudmouth English bloke played by some guy called Jamie Foreman or something, and he is just fucking annoying like the whole way through, just like fucking shut up, and he's just really, I can't even really explain it, you'd have to watch it, but he's fucking annoying. And his acting is really good because you do genuinely get annoyed when he's on screen. Other characters, you know, you get annoyed by or you feel an attachment to. Daniel Craig's character, you care that you don't want him to be shot or killed at the dodgier points in the film. The directing is good as well. There's some interesting cinematography. Off the top of my head, there's a bit where Daniel Craig's character and some other bloke are sitting at a table drinking whiskey. This other bloke who's got a gun who's going to give to Daniel Craig, and he takes it all apart and puts it on the table. And that scene is shot from up under the table, because it's a glass table, so you're seeing their faces, and then the cups of whiskey and the gun, and that's quite clever. There's a few other bits in it that are cleverly shot. There's a bit where a bloke who played a guy called Kingsley Shacklebolt in Harry Potter. I can't remember what his name is in real life, but he basically beats the shit out of someone, and it's in first person from the person he's beating up, and that's a really good scene. That's really cleverly done. So it's definitely engaging and fun to watch and well made. I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. It's not like outstanding, like oh my god, but it is one of the better kind of films about drugs or English gangstery people, I guess. So if you like those kind of things, I would say give it a watch. So yeah, that's that. I'm sorry I haven't posted more of these lately. I've been rather busy, really, with all of this university stuff. I didn't comprehend how intense everything would be. So I'm kind of getting into a bit of a schedule now. Hopefully I'll work things out and there'll begin to be a more steady flow of reviews, but at the moment it's a bit... So we'll see what happens with that anyway. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next week.